Holy shit. So how many times have you been to jail before you were 18?
That was those two.
Two?
Yeah. But here's the other thing too, is being 18 years old, only knowing of the jail prison system from either visiting my dad in prison or just popular culture, TV and stuff. And in my mind, these were all the racist skinheads that are in there. And I'm this 124-pound anti-racist kid. So I was scared to death of jail when I first went in there. The first couple of days weren't bad at all. Well, none of it was that bad once I got there. But the first couple of days, they had me and my twin brother in the same cell. And I was like, well, hell yeah, it's like a sleepover. This can't be bad, you know? And I'll remember because they gave us slippers, and his slipper had a hole in it. So whenever he stepped, it goes, zzz. So we were always making fun of him for it. And one night, the guards came into our cell and split us up because they said, well, if your parents or someone's going to bail one of you out, we don't know if you guys are going to swap ID cards. Like, get the hell out of here. Like, well, you go ahead, bro. But so they split us up, and they're like rushing me, and he's like, hey, here's your stuff. And I put my slippers on, and I step out the door, and I hear, zzz, and he's just laughing on the cell. He gave me his holy slippers on my way out.
Holy shit. Wow.
Or there was a time where someone had stole a razor blade, and so they were doing cell searches and purge searches. So they called you out of your cell one at a time. You had to walk across the whole tier, and then go out and get frisked, and then come back. So I'm coming back from the tier, and it's quiet, and I hear someone go, they checked his ass. He's walking funny. I'm like, what? I look over, it's my brother.
Holy shit. Wow. So you and your brother even after they split you guys up into different towns, you were still running the same gang, doing all the same stuff?
Pretty much. So when I got into that skinhead stuff, he listened to the music, but he went to this country school. He thought he was going to be a roper. He was in the Cowboys, and he practiced roping in the backyard. And he had a cool belt buckle with a spur on it that spun around when he flicked it. You know, he was really cool. But those Nazi dudes that were always looking for me didn't know how to twin, and they jammed him up at like a Circle K. And I think kind of from then he realized he's going to be assumed it's him. You know, he became his beef too. And then so he was like, well, might as well join too. So then he got kind of into it, and we started doing stuff together.
So when did you guys head to Portland?
Right after high school. Right after I got out of jail in high school, I moved to Portland. And part of it was good for me in the fact of probation. So when I'm on probation in Salem, which is a smaller town, it was very strict probation. When I went to Portland, I'm on gang probation, but I'm a skinny white kid. And the gang probation is in the northeast part of Portland. And my PO, this bigger black guy, and he's like, what'd you go to jail for? He's beating up Nazis. Yeah, I mean, I still get in trouble. You're going to be good. You know what I mean? They would visit me at work, or to do urine samples and stuff, but I never really did drugs back then. I didn't really drink, so it's like, it was all fine for me.
And you knew what gang you guys wanted to join?
Yeah, there was a gang there called the Rose City Bobber Boys, which I have Rose City on my knuckles and on my arm. And they had started in 1995, right in the early eras of Portland. Like, that was the same thing as Salem. There was a lot of neo-Nazi skinhead gangs there, and it would reach national news when the neo-Nazi group there, Eastside White Pride, which became Volt Front, had killed an Ethiopian immigrant, Mulgida Sarah, beat him to death with baseball bats. And so there was a big trial. The family of the deceased had sued Tom Metzger and White Aryan Resistance. So there was this big political trial going on, and so it was all over the media and stuff like that. So there was like 3 or 4 anti-racist skinhead gangs there, and kind of the main ones from each one decided, well, let's just have one, and they kind of either beat up or ran off the guys that weren't down, and they go form together, and they started Rose City. So by the time I was coming around, they were the only like anti-racist skinhead gang in Portland. So any punk rock show I went to, they were there. And you go to all the different concerts that they were there, because they were showing up to make sure Nazis weren't there. Plus, we all like the same music. So for me, I'm 18. These guys are probably 22, 23. So, but to me, they were the older guys, So when I moved up there, that was like my first thing. I moved in with one of them, and I was like, I want to be a part of this.